morning, beloveds. We had a heckin' storm yesterday. I got home just before it started. Tom came home right at the beginning of it. When I left work at 6 o'clock at night, and it looked like 8:30 at night. Like it was dark. And a little frightening. And then the power went out, and so we had, the power's out in spotty places. My neighborhood was out, yet the bank at the front of the neighborhood had power. The H-E-B had power. Fortunately, this little neighborhood restaurant that we like to go to had power, because, yeah, I was hungry. So we went to dinner, came back, and still no power. And I was just like, okay. So we gave up and went to bed around 10, quarter to 11. And an hour later, I was jerked awake when the power came back on, because we'd left all the lights on. Yeah, it was great. So hopefully where you are, you were safe and not dealing with all of this. And with the center, yeah, the same power pole that we had trouble with last year apparently got taken out again this year. So we don't know what it's going to look like on Sunday. So just keep in touch. So, all right. We are in chapter 6, and we are it's people's relationship with the spiritual universe. And we are starting on page 111 at the bottom with the section Spirit, Soul, and Body. And this is going to take at least 3 readings to get through, so bear with me. It is necessary that we understand the unity of all life, the unity of God and people on all 3 planes. We have studied universal spirit, universal subjectivity, which is called the soul of the universe, and the universal spirit in manifestation, which is called the physical universe, or the body of God. Studying people, we find that their body, just like the physical universe, devoid of mind or intelligence, has no volition. It may be permeated with intelligence, but it is not intelligent. It is one with the body of God and the physical universe. What did we learn about the soul of the universe? Remember the qualities that were discussed under the head of the subjectivity, and you will find all of them depicted in what is called the subjective nature of people. Our subconscious or subjective mind reproduces all of the attributes belonging to the universal subjective mind. When we turn to the spirit of people, we find that it is one with the Spirit of God, i.e., a person is self-conscious, thinking, choosing center of individualized intelligence or God consciousness in the great whole. So we find that a person is one with everything physical in the physical world, one with the soul of the universe in the subjective world, and one with the Spirit of God in the conscious world. Through that which we call our objective or conscious mind comes what we know of God and life. The objective or conscious mind is the spiritual mind for which we have been looking, but it is not fully developed. If this were not so, there would be no mind with which to look. The objective mind must be the spiritual mind of people, since it is the only thing about them which knows that they have life and is conscious of itself. I'm sorry, my voice is a little weird this morning. Keep clearing the whole of spirit is potentially focused on our individual objective consciousness, but we have not yet evolved to a realization of this, except in a slight degree. We approach and contact the larger spirit through our own spirit or conscious mind. The doorway to the absolute stands open at the center of our intuitive perception. He has that in italics, so emphasis. We enter the absolute through that which appears to be finite, because the finite must be drawn from the infinite. This spirit which animates us in the same spirit which animates all life and everything that lives. Emerson said that we animate what we see and see what we animate. The reason for this being that only as we truly see can the divine harmony be reflected through us and animate that which is seen. Are you with me so far? The spirit of a person is equipped with decision, will, choice, volition, intellect, and purpose. It is the microcosm within the macrocosm, which means the little world within the big world. It is also called the image of God. It is the childship of the Spirit. It is the Emmanuel, or God, with us. It is the Christ, or Logos, which is Greek for spirit, which means the Word. It can reason both inductively and deductively. The spirit of a person seems to have an external and an internal perception. Its external perception is by appearance, its internal through intuition. Appearances could limit the future possibility of a person to the uses that they have already made of life, thus circumscribe the infinite. Hence, we are told to judge righteously and not by appearances. Plotinus tells us that there are 3 ways by which we gather knowledge: through science, through opinion, through intuition, or illumination. And most of the philosophers believe that opinion is the lowest form of gathering information, just so you know. All right, back to the reading. These channels represent spiritual capacities, since each is an avenue leading to self-knowingness, and self-knowingness is the very nature and essence of spirit. Science is spirit, inducing its own laws. Intuition is spirit knowing itself. Opinion is our estimate of reality. Well, that's a good one. Because how often are estimates wrong? Okay, good to know. Sorry, back to the reading. All are spiritual faculties and should be considered in the study of this science. The race is growing into a broader diversity with age to age, from age to age, as more and more of reality opens before us in its onward march to its eternal progress. We should think of our spirit as being some part of the universal spirit, and our minds as open to the divine influx. As any specific knowledge must come from the center of all knowledge, it follows that whatever and whenever the mind of a person is open to the divine influx, it will receive instruction directly from the center and source of all. Science, invention, art, literature, philosophy, and religion have one common center from which, through experience, is drawn all knowledge. We should neither separate spirit from matter, physical form, or that which gives form, nor life from living. To suppose that one must retire from the world to be spiritual is one of the greatest possible mistakes. This is directly opposed to the self-evident truth that spirit enjoys itself only in its own works, which is its self-manifestation. We enter into the spirit of life only as we enter into the spirit of living. It sounds like he's kind of against, the aesthetics, not the aesthetics, it's an A word. Basically, he's saying go out and live, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. There can be no real enjoyment of life until we see that everything is animated by the Spirit. And as we see that things are thus animated, we are beholding the real universe. The essence of reality is invisible, but the substance of the visible is seen and heard and is part of everyday life of all. In other words, don't go lock yourself in a cave and think about God. Go live your life and think about God. All right. Go do all the things. We find that on the subjective or soul side, people are subconscious, but subconscious does not mean unconscious. Subconscious merely means subjective to the conscious thought. Compelled by reason of its subjectivity to receive what is put into it. It is karmic law because it is the use we are making of the universal subjectivity. Karma means the law of cause and effect. Soul contains the memory because it is the receptacle for the seeds of our thought. And because it is the seat of memory, it contains our inherited tendencies. It also contains the race suggestion, for we are not dealing with a separated or isolated subjective mind, but with the one subjective mind. There is a vast difference between thinking of having 3 or 4 minds and thinking of one mind, which all use. We treat the soul as being that part of our mental being which is subjective to the conscious mind. From the viewpoint, the individual soul is an effect, not a cause. Thus, understanding of soul life is in accord with the deeper thought of the ages, and it is a legitimate point of view in the light of recent investigations in both psychological and metaphysical fields. I think I just lost the thread of that. Hang on. But one of the things that, because the subjective mind being the receptacle, Jesse also talks about that as our shadow side. It's not where we put the unwanted things. It's just where we put everything that we're not using at the moment. So keep that in mind. All right. So the soul is the seat of memory, the mirror of the mind in the individual. It is the creative power within us, creating from the patterns given it and from the memories it contains. Which means if we want to know better, we need to gather more information. We gather soul or subjective force as we accumulate the right experiences. Isn't that what I just said? The law of the soul is subject to the conscious spirit. Tendencies set in motion in the soul or subjective life tend to produce their like in the objective world. From this is deduced the possibility of the healing power of the spoken word operating through the mental law of mind is always subjective. It would help if I would not leave out the little articles, right? All right. And so, but if we're operating on patterns, that's one of the reasons why it's a good idea occasionally, if we find that the pattern isn't working for us, to go get a new pattern. All right. Or 2. The soul, being the seat of memory, already contains a record of everything that has ever happened to us. These memories, as a whole, constitute the subjective tendency of the individual life. This tendency can be changed through a constant effort and a determined persistency of purpose. The soul life of all people merge, more or less, and this creates the soul life of the race. the collective subjectivity of all humanity, called by some the collective unconscious. This collective unconscious contains a record of all human events that have ever transpired. We are all more or less subject to this collective consciousness, since it acts as a powerful race suggestion. The sum total of all erroneous human belief binds until the individual mentality lifts itself above the law of averages and into the higher law of spiritual individualization. In studying a person's relationship to the universal, we have discovered how the spirit and soul of people are like the spirit and soul of the universe. Let us now consider the idea of the body. Body, affect, affairs, conditions, health, disease, destiny, riches, poverty, business, vocation, professional results, any word which stands for the externalization of a person's thoughts and endeavor, we class as part of this body. People's outward life is a result of the subjective state of their thought. The thinker is a conscious mind, but when they think, they let fall the forms of their thought into subjective mind, which is the universal medium at all thought and action. And as a result of this, the creative medium is at once sets to work to produce the thing outlined. Plotinus, Greek philosopher, Google him, Plotinus, pretty interesting. Perhaps the greatest of the Neoplatonic philosophers, last 2 pages, in personifying nature, said, I do not agree. I contemplate, and as I contemplate, I let fall the forms of my thought. This is the manner in which nature creates. It contemplates. As a result of this contemplation, it lets fall the seeds of its thought into the universal subjective, which, becoming law, produces the object thought about. We must expect to find, and it is exactly what we do find, the same principle reproduced in people. This means that whatever a person thinks, whether it is what they call good or bad, falls into the universal's creative medium, is accepted by it, is at once acted upon, and unless neutralized, tends to take objective form, which is how we can get ourselves in trouble, right? Okay. The objective person is body. By objective or physical person, we mean the person who is formed, who has flesh and blood. This physical person is in unity with all other physical and objective elements of the universe, and in unity with the invisible source from which they come. We analyze the body and find it is made of the same stuff from which a brick is made. Not different in its essence, but different in its composition, its vibration. Literally in its atoms, molecules, electrons, neutrons, positrons, photons. That's not in the book, sorry. There is one universe substance whose business it is to take form in multiplicity. We are told that matter is not a solid or stationary thing, but a constantly flowing formless substance, which is forever coming and going, an etheric whirl of energy. It has been called, whatever its nature is, it is as indestructible as God, as eternal as timeless being, nothing can be added to or taken from it. The bodies we now have were not with us a short time ago. We discard many of them on our path through this life, for the substance of which they are composed is in a constant state of flow, a flowing substance, taking the form of the mind gives it. How about the matter from which other things than the body are made? It is all the same, one substance in the universe, taking different forms and shapes and becoming different things. Unity expressed in multiplicity. And really, honestly, if you think about it, the way our cells are constantly building up and breaking down, our bones are building up and breaking down, and that we're literally all made of the same stuff. It is mind-blowing when you think about it. But most of the time we don't. All right, there's one last page in this section, so let's get this done. And then tomorrow we're going to start at 118, limitless medium. But last page in this section. It's a very long section. The last analysis of matter resolves it into a universal ether. Again, Ernest with the ether. And leaves nothing more than a stuff which may be operated upon, a force and an energy without volition, ready to become molded. In the theoretical beginning of creation, the world was without form and void. There was no difference in the ultimate and minute particles, which takes innumerable forms, only a difference in the arrangement. Our bodies are one with the whole body of the universe. Seeds, plants, cabbages, and kings are all made of the same substance. Minerals, solids, and liquids are all made from this primordial substance, which is forever flowing into form and forever flowing out again into the void. Nothing could give form to the formless stuff, which has no mind of its own, but some intelligence operating through it. Here, then, we come back to the Word as the starting point of all creation. God's Word in the great creation, the great world, and people's Word on the small world. One spirit, one mind, one substance. One law, but many ideas. One power, but many ways of using it. One God in whom we all live, and one law in which we all use. One. No greater unity could be conceived than that which is already given. So we find that a person is one with the physical universe in which they live. The physical universe has no self-determination. We find that a person's physical body is a latent mass of matter. Our body is really one with the body of God, with the physical universe, but body does not know it is body. If feet knew they were feet with the physical capacity to walk, they might cut off and still be able to run down the street on an errand. That is weird. Ernest, it is one thing to say that our feet do not know that they are feet, and quite another thing to say that they are illusions. Emphasis, Ernest. Yet all are agreed that they have no intelligence of their own. Of itself, the physical universe is an effect. So it is with the physical part of people that we call its body. All right. Woof! Ernest, you're killing me. That was a very long section. So we're going to start tomorrow at 118 with limitless medium. It still may take me 2 more days to get through this chapter. It's a long one. All right. And I am fast running out of time, so I'm just going to remind you, we're Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the Running River Ryan on the social medias. You can get in touch with us at our website, which is creativelife.org, or our email, which is info@creativelife.org. All right, y'all be safe. From everything I've heard, stay away from downtown Houston. It was messy. The storm was messy. But have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a clean up from the storm day. I hope your power comes back on quickly day, enjoy the cool breezes while they last day, go help your neighbor day, whatever kind of day you need to have, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough at just as you are. You're a beloved expression of the divine. That's what I was thinking is when we're talking about this, Ernest didn't know about, photons and electrons and neutrons and positrons and molecules and all of that. He, in passing, but not to the level that we know today. And we still know so little. It's amazing what he came up with when you think, okay, I gotta go. All right, beloveds. Like I said, you're a beloved expression of the divine, a brilliant light, a divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call it, you are a godling. It's been an interesting chapter, has it not? All right. And we're only halfway through. Okay. I gotta go. Take care of yourself. Reverend David will be on a run with you 5 p.m. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.